Since 2008, Stop It Now Scotland has been preventing child sexual abuse by working with adults who are involved with online sexual harm of children. Over the years, we've had increasing number of phone calls from parents, but also from professionals who are worried about online behaviour of children and young people. And one of the things that we wanted to do in setting up the ROSA project is learn as much as we possibly can about how to tackle adolescent technology-assisted harmful sexual behaviour, but more importantly also how to prevent it. The ROSA project was an action learning project funded by the R.S. McDonald Trust. And we did a couple of things. One is that we took referrals of young people from across Glasgow where there had been concerns in relation to those young people's online sexual behaviour. And referrals came in from schools and they came in from social work. And all the young people we worked with over a 3-year period were then offered a one-to-one intervention programme, which we then evaluated. Beyond that, the other thing that we did was we took the learning from working with young people and took that to our high school. And we worked with young people in that high school who had not been involved with offending behaviour. And we co-constructed some ideas with those young people about what prevention of technology-assisted harmful sexual behaviour might look like in the first place. We worked with a range of young people with all kinds of backgrounds, but often young people with lots of vulnerabilities in their own backgrounds. So we worked, for instance, with a number of young people who had autism. But we also worked with a range of young people who had harmed other people online, but who had also had experiences of being sexually exploited online themselves, meaning that it was quite difficult at times to work out who was a victim and who was a perpetrator in all of this. The bottom line, I think, is that these are children first and foremost. And what we've learned is that young people need opportunities to learn and grow and develop and indeed learn from the mistakes they've made online.
In terms of the legacy and the learning of the ROSA project, I think for Glasgow there's a really positive legacy in terms of Hall are able to take forward training for the Inform Young Persons programme, and I really anticipate that there'll be an increased need for that programme as we go forward. And you're always going to have young people and you're always going to have technology, so you're always going to need some kind of intervention. I think that it's really contributed to our understanding of some of the real challenges that young people are faced with as they're kind of navigating that online landscape, and particularly as well the scope that's there for young people to travel into some problematic and illegal behaviour, as well as the kind of potential for being victimised and exploited. I think ROSA has improved outcomes for young people. I think the programme is a way in which young people can increase their knowledge and their understanding, not only about their behaviours, but also just about those wider online contexts that they engage in as well, contribute to those positive outcomes, increasing parents' knowledge and understanding, increasing their confidence, and really importantly, kind of opening up those spaces, I think, for conversations to happen between young people and their parents.
What ROSA brought also, I think people were probably delivering inputs in relation to online safety, because that's a more comfortable conversation, whereas what ROSA brought is actually talking with young people about the harm they were causing online or could potentially cause online. ROSA contributed to diversion from the criminal justice system because of the early intervention nature of their work. So it obviously, providing that prevented a progression in behaviours, a potential increase in harm or then potential involvement with the criminal justice system. The one thing I learned from the ROSA project was the value of listening and starting from where young people are at, recognising that they know about what they need from adults, rather than coming with a very adult perspective on what I think a young person needs, especially recognising that my use of technology is so different to young people.
So having the ROSA project in school has helped us to think more deeply about the issue of online sexual harmful behaviour. At the moment, it's a key issue for our young people and for their families, and this project gave us an opportunity to help to really think about it and think about the kind of education we were providing about it. It also helped to support our young people who had been affected by this issue, and it meant that they offered one-to-one and group support as well. It also helped our families. We ran different parent support groups, and those attended felt that they were incredibly helpful and useful. I think the issue of online harm is something that is really important at the moment, and a lot of our young people are affected by it.
With regards to PSE and using the feedback from the young people who were involved in the ROSA project, we've been able to really tailor-make the lessons that we're offering right the way through from S1 to S6 in the PSE curriculum. I think that often the adults in a school, we think we know quite a lot about everything and that we know best and what the young people really need. But what's been really great was having the young people tell us what they actually need. So the benefits of having our young people in school actively involved in the steering group have been really wide and far-reaching, and definitely beyond maybe what we'd expected whenever we first got involved with the ROSA project. I think it gave me a lot more confidence in addressing these kinds of questions or concerns that young people have. I think often the adults here, we can kind of freak out a little bit because we're like, oh, it almost feels more serious than other things that young people come to us with. And it's probably because it's our experience of things online are a bit less than the young people have had. We're growing up in a totally different time today.
Before I started at ROSA, I was nervous, but not now, as I have built familiarity with the worker. I found the project helpful, but sometimes things are difficult to talk about. I think ROSA has helped me because it has brought to light behaviours and needs that were going unchecked. Establish a rapport with the worker made the work easier.
Ultimately, because it wouldn't hurt to show that I'm willing to seek assistance, but after the fact that it did, it sort of helped my mindset, realising what the offending behaviour had done and opened my eyes to a few things.
Your online behaviour is important in many ways, and it can make people think differently of you because of what you're sharing. It is important to have positive online behaviour. The consent session was important because the information is really helpful as it makes you think twice about what you do and your social behaviour.
I definitely think it's important for young people to get involved in projects that influence adults because they're on the right track, but I think young people can give that kind of last push of this is what is important, especially to us, and what you can do to help. And I think one major part of that is conversation. Like us young people most of the time do feel like we're just kind of ignored by adults, and our opinions and what we know can help just kind of gets overlooked. And I think it's really important for adults to kind of listen in because it will help both sides, and it's really important. Something that I learned through the ROSA project that has definitely impacted my online life is spotting risk. Beforehand I thought I knew what it looked like and how to spot it and how to tell my friends about it, but after the ROSA project I realised how little that we actually know as teenagers and how things actually look like, and I've definitely become much more, not careful, but I know how to get myself out of risky situations, and I understand what could happen if I don't in those situations. And it's also helped me protect my friends almost too, when they tell me about oh, I met this guy online, and automatically I'm just like, big red alarm, and it's kept me and my friends safe. That's a definite.
There's so many messages for the ROSA project that I would like to share, but I suppose one key message is about conversations and dialogue and taking away the fear or the anxiety that people have about talking to young people about their online life. it's just an extension of their offline life for these young people. There isn't a difference. People, parents, teachers, social workers are quite comfortable about asking young people who they're going, where they're going, who they're with, who they're talking to, what they're doing, when it's in real life. But when it's online, it becomes kind of shrouded. We need to be much better at asking these questions and be much more comfortable talking about an online presence and an online life as a one thing, rather than, separating it into two separate things.